Hey, home fries, how's it going? Oh my god, I'm so late. It's Halloween. It's Monday the 31st. Are my necklaces all straight? Who cares? So it's just a very unusual day. Unusual with the kids and stuff, with work. So I just thought I would make it the most unusual with some outdoor places, mysterious places. And hey, Rhonda, thank you for saying hi. So I know you're there. Oh my goodness! So I just put up like a 8-minute video that I pre-recorded out at my mom's gravesite because it's Halloween, and it's my first Halloween since she's passed away. So I don't know if you guys have caught that yet, but it's a natural grave site, so it's pretty wild. In the state of Ohio, they just started allowing these natural burials. I like it. I think it's great. Anyway, so the grass is like 10 feet tall. And it's not very spooky, but I guess, if you look at it right. Anyway, I want to get right down to some Kylie Rodney business, and this is going to be a short one because of Halloween, and I'll try to get on live later and kind of do a more normal kind of thing. What is normal anyway? Um, Everything I say is my opinion only, and can be taken out of context, but not to be confused with actual truth, right? All of my jewelry is handmade by myself. And, I'm just really winging it. I'm just doing it all different at the moment, as you can see. So, being out on Wi Fi, like public Wi Fi in the great outdoors, and just being creative and doing it different. So, everything I say is my opinion only, and it's purely for the sake of speculation and conversation, education, and entertainment for the YouTubers, right? For the interwebs. I took a weekend off the internet. Now I have to play catch up. Yes. So a lot of activity, not on Kylie Rodney's case, but of course on the Delphi. And I'm not going to get sidetracked by that. I'm just not. Nothing can sidetrack me from Kylie. But I do have a few things that I want to share. And where should I start? Let me start with this really funny movie called How to Get Ahead in Advertising with Hugh Grant. It was back like before he was famous in America. It was one of his first movies in our country. And he was losing his mind, and he put this cardboard box on his head so that the boil on his shoulder that was taking over his life wouldn't be able to hear him talking. So he goes to like talk to his wife, and he's got this cardboard box on his head, kind of looks like an old school TV, and he's whispering to his wife so that the boil won't hear him. And it's something that I have thought about these last couple of days with all the ludicrousy around this case, and the tinfoil hat, and the wearing the pot on your head, wearing a cardboard box on your head. The gaslighting is out of control. And, it seems to me that the gaslighting with the Delphi case is kind of out of control too. That was a 13-year-old girl and a 14-year-old girl murdered almost 6 years ago. And they've arrested a few guys, actually. But then they say that they didn't get it right. And so now they're saying they got it right with this guy. And who knows? I mean, I haven't ever really followed that case. I only looked into it a little bit when I thought maybe it was Barry Morphew. But we have visitors, so I'm going to have to wrap it up really quick. So let me talk about the 4 agreements. Those 4 agreements, I mentioned them the other day. It's always do your best, don't assume, don't take anything personal, and be impeccable with your word. So the always do your best and the don't make assumptions are the 2 that I forgot. The take nothing personal and the impeccability with your word were the 2 that I remembered. But they all kind of flow into each other, in my opinion. It's all about integrity, and it's also about not allowing other people to project their crap onto you. That's the whole, like, not taking it personal. Even if somebody's trying to make it personal. So there, I think that guy went away. So let's see. Was there a Truckee train tunnel adventure group mural thing? I don't know. If you Google Truckee train tunnel adventure and group mural, it seems like that is a place where Kylie took a bunch of her pictures in the black dress where there's all the graffiti around. That might be like the Truckee train tunnel group mural place. There's a lot of weird stuff in this town, and I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place because of all the irregularity of Halloween and just weird spooky stuff. So I apologize if it's not your thing, but it looks like it might be somebody's thing with the ghost and the skull and the pumpkin. That's adorable. So yeah, the photos, right? I try to use interesting thumbnails that relate to what I'm talking about. And I used the thumbnail a few days ago with Kylie, little Kylie in a yellow boat. And I put in the notes how that photograph was taken. I gave the photo credits to Men's Magazine. I found it on the internet. And so that's what it said. And I mentioned it in one of my last videos, and a couple of people chimed in and said that, yeah, they thought it was creepy too. Men's Magazine with a picture of a cute little blonde girl. Yes, Paula Bonnie, Paula Bonnie is better for Halloween, right? My email address is justice, ATOOZ, @gmail.com. So justice, ATOOZ, @gmail.com. So thank you. I'll look for your email. So then, I Googled like Men's Magazine to see what would pop up, and, things like GQ and Men's Journal and some other reputable and not so reputable things popped up. And I thought, my God, who would be the photographer for Men's Magazine? I wonder if it's anybody in the Catfish crew. We've talked a lot about those little parties that they would have at the Lost Trail Lodge, the AAC parties, like the Alpine Association Club or something like that they would do them twice a year, and they did them in January and July, and that they had one the weekend before Kylie went missing. And there are some people, I believe, that were guests at that weekend retreat. It's like the Alpine Association something, and I think Patagonia or North Face is one of the many companies that's part of it. It's a big moneymaker for the lodge, and they do these retreats twice a year, every year, it looks like. Anyway, some of the names of folks that were at that one that was just the weekend right before Kylie's disappearance may be some of the Catfish crew. Coincidence? Hi, everyone. So, yeah, this is such an unusual live, but that's okay. I spoke about the home address or the house address of the Sierra private investigation firm that's in Truckee, that's owned by Sammy's parents. And how I spoke about this yesterday, how I had looked up the address, and it looked like a residential area. It looked like a very like ho-hum kind of residential area. I don't have that address of that handy. There's a men's retreat at the lodge on Facebook. Oh my God. It's really creepy, isn't it? So the address of Sierra private investigator firm, you can Google that and it'll pop right up. And then if you go look at the actual address, like you will see a split level home with a 2-car garage that looks like it's in the same neighborhood as the videos that somebody named Samantha made 10 years ago, that some people have thought that that's Sammy Smith, and other people have thought maybe it's not. but it's just a connection that I kind of clicked on over the weekend. So I thought, wow, I haven't even had a chance to look at it all. I also mentioned the two license plates, and we've got a blue SUV Mitsubishi, and we've got a blue minivan. I don't know what brand, what make, what model. But one of them has the license plate 242D96. I think that was the one with the Nevada plate, because I've got these written down in one of my other notebooks, and I don't think that they match. But there's just all these kind of random and not so random things that do need to be looked into. And I'm kind of just sharing my process with you guys, because I know sometimes people like to jump in and help out. Like ADK Lassie saying there's a men's retreat at the lodge on Facebook. I don't want to be the one to say these things, but somebody's got to say it. Like, why did a 16-year-old have an IUD? Who would do that? What doctor would do that? It is appalling to me. And it just really begs the question, what the fuck is going on here? Or what the fuck was going on here? I'm not going to say anything more than that about it. It's just so nauseating. But I think most of you know what I'm talking about. And when you talk about men's retreat at the lodge and men's magazine photographer with a cute little blonde girl all by her lonesome in a little cute kayak in the middle of the water all by her lonesome at the Lost Trail Lodge. Like, oh my God, people, it's creepy AF, right? Thank you. Yes, they never used to do that. IUD before pregnancy. I would think some doctors would get sued for doing that. I mean, it is dangerous when a person is still growing and developing. And yeah, Kylie was probably at her full height, right? She was 5'7", unless you believe the autopsy report that says less. um, but she was not even 17 yet. Like, she really hadn't like done her freshman 15 and all that, all those wonderful things that women get to look forward to in their early young adulthood. I had to go before a doctor panel when I was in my late 20s. Good point, MEB. Thank you for sharing that. So this this commenter is saying that to get an IUD in her late 20s, she had to go before a doctor's panel. And I'm just going to guess that you already had kids and you told them that you were done. Because I know my mom had an IUD probably in her late 20s, maybe her 30s. And she'd had her kids in her early mid 20s and she was done. So I think she still had trouble with it. I think that it did get embedded. I mean, they're creepy, disgusting things. I mean, you just can't mess with your body like that. But if you want to guarantee that your teenage daughter doesn't get pregnant, especially because that can be used as evidence. I made it live. Yay. Occasionally an IUD is put in when there's a scare, like morning after pill, and then there's a chance of pregnancy. Well, and it made me wonder if maybe there had been a pregnancy, and so they were really doing everything they could to prevent another. I'm not saying that there had been. I have no evidence of that. But what in the world would make anybody think it's okay for a 16-year-old to get one of those things inserted into her body? I had to fight no kids. That's why severe childhood abuse, IUD led to hysterectomy. I'm so sorry about the abuse. But that's really interesting that, you had to fight since you didn't have kids. Cause yeah, I don't think my mom had to fight, and she probably got it in her late 20s since she did have a couple of kids. She had her quota. I heard of them moving in other body parts. I haven't heard of them moving into other body parts, but I have heard of them migrating. So, I guess that could be migrating to another body part. But yeah, they're just weird. They're an irritant in your body. Anything is an irritant in your body, right? I mean, our bodies are, temples that are very sensitive, and we need to be careful with them and only do healthy things with them. So I heard some things from some commenters that I thought were cute that you guys would enjoy. So the guys who did the behavioral panel that said Sammy like checks out, she checks out. She's all good. We back her up 100%. Nothing to see over here, folks. But apparently they said that about Amber Heard too, and some other weird Don Wells. Yeah, right. Everything's fine there, fine and dandy. Like, who are these guys? What, they think because they're white dudes that they can just say whatever they want and everyone's going to go, oh, okay, white dude, you have a deep enough voice and you're a professional, whatever. So, yeah, I totally believe you. In UK, 16-year-olds have contraceptive implants and the pill, etc., but I've never heard of anyone that young having an IUD. Age of consent is 16 here. Oh my God, again, no notification. Ugh. You know what I did was I put out a pre-recorded thing from my mother's gravesite since it's Halloween. But I also found out that I can't really do like the computerized notifications until I get StreamYard, which I'm going to do. I'm going to get StreamYard and then I can just put it in there and it'll come up automatically. So hopefully I'll have that like within a couple of days. Oh, so let's see. Somebody made a joke too. I love the comments. You guys are great. Somebody made a joke about maybe Tony gave his mic to Sammy to use at the, the gathering at the search when she allegedly brought her own mic. Maybe it was Tony's mic. I don't know. Interesting idea, huh? So I wanted to direct everybody to check out T Rev. Do you guys know T Rev yet? He has a YouTube channel for music. He also has one for true crime and maybe one or two others. And he's kind of a wild one. I really like him. He did a 19-hour live once, I think. So I think he got a lot of flack for that. But his heart's in the right place. He's doing his thing. He wrote a song called Truckee Song or something like that. I think it's under 3 minutes and it is so good. It's a rap song, and 1111 Tarot and him have kind of teamed up, and so she put it on her channel because she has a whole lot of subs, and he has it on his channel too, and it's great. I mean, I love Kevin Neese's song about my new friends, but I also love this T Rev Truckee Song, I think is what it's called. Have you guys heard it? I think you might have been at that infamous party. Somebody said in the comments that Kylie's mom and stepdad were at the party. I'd never heard that. Have you guys heard that? Is there anything to back that up? I mean, is that just rumor, speculation? I don't know. I was just kind of like, what? Yes, sub to his channel. So yeah, you guys check out T-Rev and, give him some love, like his song, sub to his channel if you feel inclined, and share it. Like, we should blow the guy up. I think that'd be cool. Also, if you don't know 1111 Tarot, I think that Mama D, is that what you guys told me? It's because I was confused. Like, was it Mama Kaz or Mama D? I think that's Mama D. She's great. She is so good. She's got such great wisdom and intuition, in my humble opinion, as does the other one that we all like so much. I'll think of it. You guys know who you like. Hey, did you find out about the attorney that Sammy hired? No, I haven't even tried. I haven't looked into that. Gregory Worth says he did a good job on that song. Yeah. I know a lot of people have been writing songs about Kylie and Truckee, and it's just really cool to see the talent and to see the passion. Anyway, I'm jumping all around. Like I said, it's Halloween, so I'm just gonna be a little bit crazy. Okay. Just for fun, just to mix it up. So, who doesn't love Christina Randall, right? She's got over 1 million freaking subs. Holy caboli, Christina Randall. You go, girl. She did one over the weekend about the 27 Club. And I thought, well, that's cool. I've always been interested in the 27 Club because, in my mind, it started with Brian Jones, who, if you don't know, was one of the people that formed the Rolling Stones. And he was 27. But she took it back one more. Robert Johnson, who I know the Rolling Stones have stolen some of Robert Johnson's songs, and his family has sued them in recent years to get the money. Anyway, I didn't know that he died at 27. So then, of course, she listed off some of the most well-known that have died at 27: Hendrix, Joplin, Morrison, and then Cobain. Cobain was when a lot of us younger folks started learning about it. I started learning about it the year before Cobain because Mia Zapata was also 27. So then right after Kurt Cobain, I think she was the bass player for Hole, Kristen Pfaff, also died at 27. It's just like this really big quinky dink, all these people that die at 27. So, Christina Randall was talking about people that may or may not have made deals with the devil and so sold their soul so that they could become big rock stars. My thing with 27 is more about Saturn returns. And I don't know how many people are familiar with Saturn taking 28 years to go around its cycle. So when you're born and you turn 28, 28 is the first time it's done a full cycle since your birth. And then 56, of course, is your second time. It's a really strong polarity with Saturn returns. So for anybody who isn't familiar with it, if you think about what was going on in your life when you were 28, you'll go, oh my God, yeah, it's a very intense time. And it starts before you turn 28 and it lasts into being 29 usually. So, yep, the 27 Club. Hank was 29. I'm not sure how old was. Okay, Robert Johnson claims he sold his soul to the devil after he did his career took off. Right. And who knows? Maybe Cobain did too. I mean, seriously. I mean, I know that it's like a big legend with Robert Johnson, Brian Jones, Mick Jagger. It's some weird stuff. Hendrix, Joplin, Morrison. I don't think Mia or Kristen sold their soul to the devil, but I do think that the devil was involved in their demise. Theirs and Kurt Cobain's and Stephanie Sargent's. So, all four of those people died in the same 24-month time frame, all within about a square mile of each other on Capitol Hill during the emergence of grunge into the stratosphere of American music, like, the alternative becoming the mainstream. And so the fact that they were all in the close physical proximity to each other and in the same time frame as each other meant that they all had the same coroner, which was key because when you have a coroner in your back pocket, that's really handy if you're not the sheriff and you're not the public administrator and you're not the coroner. If you could maybe, I don't know, sleep with a coroner, you might be able to get some favors. So these are things that a lot of people who follow these cases, who are Kurt Cobain and Nirvana fans, will know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you don't, just watch some of the movies about Cobain and look at quotes from the guy who was the police chief, Seattle police chief back then. He was the police chief for 15 years, and what he says now, how he would do things different now if he had the opportunity. But it's, too little, too late, dude. Like, do what you can, right? And a lot of good singers have died young. Yes, I do, Jen says. You know what I'm talking about. Kurt Cobain. Well, wait, no, I'll do it in order. We got Stephanie Sargent from 7-Year Bitch, an all-girl band, who died in 92. I think June of 92. Maybe, no, July of 92. And then we've got Mia Zapata, who died in July or June of 93. And then we got Kurt Cobain, who died in April 94. And then we got the girl that he'd been dating, Kristen Pfaff, the bass player for Hole, who overreacted and died 2 months later. So, it's not looking good. Think about the one person that all four of those people knew who would love to, I don't know, manipulate the world and be like the biggest grunge rock superstar in the world and, make a deal with the devil. You guys know who I'm talking about. The infamous 27 Club. So yeah. I'm being goofy on purpose. So anyone who's tuning in going, what is she talking about? No, I'm 100% sober. You guys know that. I'm just being a little bit weird because it is Halloween. And so the whole day is weird. And I'm going to wrap it up. And I'm going to have a real show for you guys later this evening, I promise. And I'll put out a little alert the way I've been doing on my own since I don't have StreamYard to do it for me. But I will get that. And then once I have StreamYard, then I can learn all kinds of cool tricks. So, this thing with Richard Allen and the Delphi. Do you guys remember Chandra Levy, Gary Condit's mistress that disappeared back in 2002? And it was like all over the news. And then something happened on September 11th of 2002, right? We all remember what happened on September 11th of 2002. And it was horrible, 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 horrible. I figured for Gary Condit, it was a big gift because nobody was talking about him or Chandra Levy for a very long time after that, because all anybody talked about, of course, was the terrorist attacks, right? So my point in bringing that up is that when law enforcement said with Kylie Rodney's case that we weren't going to hear anything for a good 6 weeks, I thought, what, are they hoping that there's going to be a 9/11 or something between now and then? I mean, that's what this whole Richard Allen arrest feels like to me. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if, this is my paranoid conspiracy theory mindset. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if they spring him in a couple of days and say, oh, wrong guy, right? Although it's looking like they do have the right guy. What a terror. What an absolute terror. But just the timing of it and the timing of them arresting him right before the weekend and then having their press conference this morning. And I was so glad when they did their press conference this morning, when they said, we're not going to have any details for you guys. I was like, good, because then that will be yet less of a distraction from Kylie Rodney's case and from November 1st, which is tomorrow, which we've all been waiting for. James Lacrosse says, she said Ryan Upchurch. I'm not sure who you're referring to. Yeah, she meant 2001, but definitely said 2002. Thanks, you guys. You caught me. God. See, and I thought I was so on it. Thank you. 2001 was Gary Condit and 9/11. I knew that. So I was pregnant with my first child when 9/11 happened. So I know exactly. I remember the day very well. And those are the things that there's just so many of them that when you're doing these live streams and then you catch yourself and then you're like, oh God, what did I say? So I'm so glad I looked up and saw that. I am going to give you a gold star titanium belt. Thank you. Pin message. Yes. September 11th, 2001 was the terrorist attack on the Twin Towers. And it took the heat off of Gary Condit. He may have gotten away with murder. Chandra Levy's family, here we are 21 years later. And thank you so much for pointing that out, because I was thinking, wow, is it exactly 20 years later? No, it's exactly 21 years later. And Rhonda R. says she was pregnant with her second child. Yeah, the guy that they arrested, Richard Allen, he does look exactly like the picture on the phone. He also looks like the sketches But Plunder and What's the Obsession and some of these other shows have just been doing some amazing work on that case. And I'm kind of just not going to touch that case. I've told you guys again and again, I can't stomach children being sexually assaulted. I can't stomach adults being sexually assaulted. And for anybody who's survived it, good for you. Kick some butt. Um, it's just the most disgusting thing in the world to me. And for this guy, two young teenagers, what a creep. But for people who don't know, Indiana is like, and I don't want to offend anybody who's from Indiana, it's old school. It is old school. So when we see all this weird crud going on in Truckee, it's kind of what the whole state can be like sometimes. I mean, not all the time. There's, of course, good in Indiana. David Letterman came from there. And Bloomington, Indiana, and a heck of a lot of cool tunnels and beautiful natural wonders and stones and rocks. And Purdue University, Notre Dame University. I was thinking, man, if Truckee just had a university there, wouldn't that help it be a little less sucky? Like, probably their closest college is Sierra College, and that's maybe 45 minutes away in Roseville. So I'm going to wrap up. Again, I want to thank you guys for catching my big blunder of saying 2002 when it was 2001. 9/11, I was actually telemarketing and trying to sell cell phones to New York that morning when the first tower got hit. You had to leave work. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was living in Seattle at the time. Whew, that was some crazy crap. And I think that kind of terrorism ties right in with domestic violence. I mean, that's called domestic terrorism. To me, it's a lot like domestic violence. Anybody who's lived in a household with domestic violence knows that the terror is how they control. And then, you know, somebody like the douchebag that killed these beautiful young girls on that February 13th. I've been saying that it was 5 years ago, but it was almost 6 years ago, right? I was thinking it was 5 years ago this coming February, but it is actually 6 years ago this coming February. But, just the terror that he inflicted on those girls, the terror that he inflicted on the town. Um, I hope that they have the right guy. And why did it take them so long when they had him on videotape and they had him on audio tape? I do not understand that unless they're just trying to make the most ironclad case possible. But didn't they arrest like a handful of other guys since it happened up until now that they thought were the perps and then it turned out that they weren't? He believes Kylie died in nothing more than an accident, and if you disagree with him, he freaks out on you. Are you talking about the behavior panel, or I'm not sure. I don't know if you know who Psychobabble Rap is. He's a jerk, but he's doing a video about you tonight, about me. Oh, yay. God. Well, I mean, I've taken a pretty hard stance, haven't I? So I kind of look at it like, you've hit it big when somebody's making a channel to bash you, like Zav Girl has had the honor. Um, you know, uh, eh, I guess, it's a free country, right? He's ridiculous. That should be fun. Okay, people, you get in there and, blow up his chat. Hey, lovely titanium belt. So, I'm just not the kind to get into a little pissing war with somebody. It's not my thing. I try to like rise above it. I try to be the grown up. So I will do my best. What are my 4 agreements? Always do your best. Don't assume anything. Be impeccable with your word and don't take it personally. So yeah, somebody who wants to hold on to the fantasy that, in my opinion, it's a fantasy that Kylie had a car accident. Um, you know, who better to pick on than me, because I've gotten pretty vocal about just stating that my opinion is that she was conspired against and betrayed by her friends. And let's just leave it at that. We don't need to get into all the gruesome details. We don't know all the gruesome details. I don't know if I'm accurate. I think I am. I hope I'm not. So, happy Halloween, you guys. I'm going to wrap it up here. So, thanks for joining me. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you later tonight. Try to get out and get some fresh air. Don't eat too much of that sugar. Eat your protein, your fruits and your veggies. Stay hydrated. Be nice. Enjoy the silliness of the day. And, you know, let's pray for Kylie and pray for justice. And we will talk to you soon. Thanks again for joining me. See you soon. Have a great day. Happy Halloween.